Daniel Klopfelter here, come to you again from the Foxhole. This video is with Jay Kinder and Dan Hilsman. Jay called me, asked me if I wanted to do an interview when I first came on the EXP, and how did I get into this business, and why do I want to do coaching and things like that, and help people grow their business. Part of the interview was recorded, and this is that. It was 35 minutes originally. We cut it down a little bit. I did. Certainly no videographer or video editor. You can see that on my clunky, chunky videos. iPhone and knock it out. Just trying to get things knocked out. But this is a little intro of my story of how I got into this business and how I wanted to help other people. So there's way more to it, especially that I have been business partners and with my wife for over 21 years so far. We met in 1997. That's a far better story than this particular story that you hear on this interview, and I'll share that with you personally when we get together. So I look forward to hearing your story and building our stories together. So take care. Hope you enjoy the interview, and we'll see you in the next video.
We are live. We are live and in charge, despite some technical difficulties today. We are not immune to that here. We are here with Daniel Klopfelter, good friend Dan Hilsman. This is going to be a wild conversation. Something tells me that this is going to be unlike any conversation that I've had on B Live here today. And part of the reason for that is Daniel Klopfelter maybe has one of the wildest stories of being into real estate and all of the things that come along with how you got into real estate, what you've done since you've been in real estate, the fact that you have a 4-year bachelor of business and real estate and marketing, which you're the only person I've ever met with that, and a minor in real estate finance. But yeah, man, you've got a great story from being homeless to, at 19 years old and college and, buying more than 16 houses by the time you graduated at the age of 22. I mean, that in and of itself says a lot about your work ethic. But I mean, let's hear this story, man. I mean, tell us how in the world did you pull this off?
So basically, being homeless is a kind of a little bit of a teaser, but somewhat true. I came home from a vacation, or I was playing ball somewhere or something, and I practiced ball in college. I didn't play very much because I had some injuries. But the main thing was I came home and caught my roommate moving out. I had not had any eviction notices. He had hidden them all, taken them off the door, and I had to find a place to live. So long and short of it is I drove around because I knew I couldn't go to an apartment complex and say, hey, I'm being evicted. Can I move in and pay rent? So, and plus it was in the middle of the semester. And in a college town, that doesn't work. So I drove around, found these 2 old cats that was working in a house, and they were basically spent. They were over it. It was a 1950s 3-bedroom brick ranch on a crawl space. So I basically said, look, leave your paint buckets, cans, rollers, brushes, and I'll go to work on it, pay you $100 a week. And it worked out. So it took me 3 or 4 months, and I basically got it done, rented out the other 2 bedrooms, and my cost of living was basically paid for. So then it was I made a pretty good realization at about 19 that if I want something, I could get other people possibly to pay for it. Just got to figure out how many people to pay what I need. And so I rented the rooms, and it was like rinse and repeat. And I went on and got people to own or finance other distressed properties.
Well, so then what happened?
So then what happened? Well, basically, I had to find ways to finance the properties and to pay for them. And I would use student loans to, I had a Hope grant here in Georgia where you get a GPA, you maintain a certain level, they pay for a certain amount towards your tuition. I also had a tiny little football practice and kind of scholarship that paid for about a page in a book. Took student loans out. And I used student loans to pay for roofing supplies or HVAC units or anything big. Now, I lived in a house that didn't even have floors in it for the most part for the in the beginning. But after I started going and adding bedrooms to houses and putting parents on leases, used credit cards as well. I had a spreadsheet. I tracked 33 credit cards on an Excel spreadsheet, all the teaser rates. It was, trust me, on a Wednesday night, I was up tracking when that compounding interest was about to fly over to another 30% card. So I go do a 6% card and say, hey, I'm over $25,000. Here it comes. And basically, that's how I finance repairs on distressed properties.
Wow, that's incredible. So at some point, I mean, obviously, you saw real estate was the way, right? I mean, you were making good money, selling that many houses over that period of time. So what, how did you you change it sometime, like your major in college, or was that all along that what you were doing, or what was the?
No, I did that. I had interest in real estate, but I didn't have interest in real estate sales. I wanted to do financing and flipping, and that's why I have to, did the minor in real estate finance. But that stuff's boring. So all the analysis and stuff, it's like dorky industry. So basically, I graduated with the dorky degree. All the jobs that were offered were real estate finance and analysis of, or analyst of financial solutions. And basically, I turned that around and was bored with it. So I went and worked as a host, I guess is what you call it, of new construction, on-site sales agent. and loved new construction, loved developing. So I kind of pulled back the curtain, tried to figure out how I could learn more about what these people were doing. And people let me in and showed me kind of the backside of some of it. And I went from working for a national builder to now going and getting some people that were small, what I call pickup truck developers, builders that build 20, 30 houses a year. I worked for about 10 of them, did bookkeeping for them, did scheduling for their projects, I cleaned toilets, I cleaned windows, I did whatever I could to be able to hang around with these guys and women to learn the business. And so that's what I did. I let them teach me how to do that. And I sold houses for them.
Right.
That was my main job, was sell houses. Cleaning windows was on like the night shift.
Right. Full time.
Yeah.
It's just, so how did you get into the business of owning and building brokerages?
Basically, same exact process.
How did that end, first of all? Like what? So did you just stop doing that and start buying brokerages, or were you buying a brokerage to leverage the new construction and building side of things, or what was?
While I was at the new construction, I got them to pay for training because my degree wasn't really about real estate sales, especially houses and stuff. It was more about developing, and finances. So then I got them to teach some training, pay for my licenses. They paid me by the hour. I got licensed, and I left that and started working with the developers. I was a sales agent with them through Remax Prudential, Keller Williams, and I started making my own brokerages. I was actually the financial chair for a while at the Keller Williams office, and that's when I really got to see the backside and the books and the budgets and how the OPs operate and who really owns the brokerages.
So you've seen a lot of ways to make money along the way here at a very high, at a very detailed level. So what was your interest in getting into the brokerage and looking at the finances of these brokerages? What was your interest level of getting into the brokerage? What did you see there as opportunity?
Well, I always thought it was a weird business, and you may agree with it or you may not, that somebody goes out and they put together their money, their effort, their time to create a paycheck, and they bring it back into a broker and they get a piece of it back.
Right.
Man, that's like the weirdest business model I've ever seen. And I just didn't understand it. And I never understood why. So I started wanting to coach agents and make them, look at their own businesses and run it as a business, being the nerdy analyst, with a degree. And I wanted them to look at it and coach them and say, this is the way you make money. This is how you put things together. And you are the CEO of your own business. And so we started a company called the Property Shop of Georgia. We turned around and I started Solid Approach Realty, which is a small boutique style real estate office. And it can only help so many people. But that's the reason why I got into it, was to help people learn the back end business and treat their real estate as a business.
Right. 100%. So what what was the next step from there? You built an individual. You built and sold a brokerage, the Property Shop. Then you got the Solid Approach, which is a boutique, smaller brokerage, only a handful of agents.
It's local. Still active today. It still makes money. Right. And the next step was when I got a call from Dan and you guys. It took me about a year to make a decision, because I couldn't get over my own huge ego of letting my little baby bird out of the nest called Solid Approach Realty. But then it hit me and said, dang, there's a good way to own one brokerage, and then there's another way to help tons of people all over North Georgia, and who knows where else they're going. So my goal is to raise the bar in real estate and help as many people as I possibly can. And EXP Realty allows that process to happen.
So I want to underscore that just for a second for people that are listening. That your goal is to you're looking for a place where you can have the biggest impact. Is that the place where you're at in your life?
I want to share as much opportunity with anybody as possible. And some people are going to get it, and some people are going to have business mindset, and some people are not. And that's okay. We see that every day. But I want to help as many people swimming back to this raft that I can put in the raft. And that will raise, in the end, the whole bar of real estate sales. And that's my goal. Eventually, is to make a dent. When I'm dead and gone, I want a lot of people to be able to sit around and say, man, that dude helped me with just real estate, but maybe motivation. Maybe he helped me with some life coaching. Maybe he helped me with whatever. As long as it ain't scraping paint off of windows anymore, I'm down with it.
Yeah, man, I hear you loud and clear. So that's, I hope people get it, right? For people that have had a high level of success, like Daniel Clodfelter has in a number of different ways, it becomes more about where's the alignment of a place that I can go where I can add the most value to the most people's lives. And that's the secret sauce at EXP, if you guys haven't figured this out. Like the reason that this model attracts some of the most talented, giving, great human beings in real estate is because they get to give back. There's actually a financial reward for giving back. And that even makes it that much easier to become aligned to it. It's not that there has to be money in order for us to give back. I'm sure you give back in a lot of different ways. But I think that it's the power of the business model that has aligned compensation to behavior and allows us to spend our time focusing on helping other agents we bring into the company. That's really the magic, at EXP. That again, over and over and over, doing these interviews, there's always revenue share in their stock, and there's this and there's that. But it's the magical thing is that alignment and us working together, one big fire, so to speak. Putting all our fires together and make one big fire, right?
Right, and it's not hindered by geographic area. I mean, right. you could own a franchise, but that franchise is pretty much that area or that region. And there's all these different levels that have to be paid off on that you have to split it. So there's, several things. And I've got some notes up on the screen that I wanted to go over about the reasons for being at EXP and looking at it. And, it took a while. I mean, I had a little paralysis by analysis just by human nature for a little bit. But I'm telling you, it's going together like peanut butter and jelly, having the other brokerages and having EXP and all the tools that they give.
Right. So what were some of the key points as far as the business model of EXP that really got you excited?
Being agent centric, where you can brand your own self. I'm all about branding my own self. I've been running the same brands for 22 years. Dan gets on me all the time because he says I don't own a shirt that doesn't have a logo in it. So I tried to wear one day with somebody else's logo on it for the first time. I'm the guy that'll it is the first. I'm the guy that'll take the logo off and put mine on it. And I don't know. There's a certain sense of pride with that you can brand your own self, and they support it as long as it's okay within your state guidelines. Right.
That's a big deal. I think that's you mentioned ego earlier. I think anybody who's built something successfully is going to have a little bit of ego, that comes with that, or maybe it's you maybe call it ego, or it's really ego, but it's your pride, right? You're like, man, I don't want to give up. Ego. Right, straight up, for sure, ego. Right, but that's and that is probably true for most people. And I had the same thing, right? Like I spent most of my life building what I've been building, and for me to say, okay, maybe there's a better way, and I didn't think of it. Was it took a little time for that to sink in. That somebody else might be smarter than you are. But once you see, how it's more aligned. I mean, they literally want you to be the brand. That's it's right. Like. I was just trying to explain it like it's like Intel Inside, right? You can buy buy a Dell or you could buy Microsoft. They're both Intel Inside powering the computer. And that's really kind of the way EXP's platform is laid out, where you can keep your brand or you can be just EXP. You can do however you want to do, but you don't have to give up that brand in order to move to EXP, which is just a huge huge alignment factor for a lot of people who build businesses like you have. So totally makes sense. What else have you seen in this model that was really kind of made it special to you?
So like I was introduced maybe 2 years ago, and I saw this little video, this little caricature on it. It was talking about EXP and profit share and not profit share, but stock shares and stuff like that. And I thought, this is crazy. This is, if I had a few $1 million, this is the company that I would build. So why try to recreate it? And that took a while because I tried to copy it for a little bit. And you run out of money real quick trying to copy this thing that they have called EXP Enterprise. It's ridiculous. It's the bomb. You see the vital signs in a glance. What's your business doing? How's your business working? All the stock options and major just, for a guy that looks at business and does entrepreneurial coaching, being able to at a glance know your numbers is important to me. Of course, I spend a lot of money on the back end of my brokerage to be able to see it, but I got to dig through and have like B4734 #1 to make it come up.
Right.
So this is like click, boom, there it is, and on your phone or whatever.
So, Mr. Hillsman, how did you meet Daniel here?
Well, a little bit of a test file. Jay, you said they sent the video out to 3 people, and Peter Porcelli sent it to Daniel, and Daniel and I started talking about it. This is prior to me moving over. This is when I was coming, when you and I first started talking, Jay.
Yeah.
Daniel and I went back and forth, and
had a lot of questions.
Yeah. Then they finally, patted me on the head and say, "Hey, man, that looks great. Why don't you go figure it out and go try it, and then come back and report back?" So. I don't know. Then Michael Reese was coming in town, which forced me to go back through my list, inviting people to the event that I have with Michael in town, and Daniel and Peter on it. Then they came, and the rest is history. So just glad to have them. They're going to be a great addition to the company.
Absolutely. Right on. So, all right. So what else have we touched? I don't think we've touched on everything yet. So what other parts of the model?
Some of the other things, like I didn't really have a split owning a brokerage, so I had to kind of get my head wrapped around that. But once you think about it, it's really about tax shelter. And they give you the money back. I mean, they give it back to you in stocks. They give it back in dollars, but they give it back to you in shares. So You get most of your money back, so who cares? The splits just don't really matter that much. They're for taxes and for shelters. And so I went from no split to the new split that's capped at 16,000, 80-20 all the way. Everybody's on the same split. I've been at brokerages before, and I was the guy that walked in, and people literally were a little bit resentful because I was getting paid to be at these brokerages because I had like 8 subdivisions at a time, controlling the builders and all that. And they were like, wow, he's not paying the splits I'm paying. So in every brokerage from now on, everybody's got to be the same. I mean, that's my own personal take, is everybody should be rewarded in the same effort.
Right.
Not somebody being on 70-30. What's that?
It's a culture issue, right?
It is. It's a major issue when somebody else sees your check and you're getting actually paid to be there, and half of their check is going to some team or something. But,
right.
Y'all make your choices.
Right, and it's also not good for the brokerage, right? So like, the at the end of the day, it usually isn't a strategic decision to offer a bunch of different varied splits to everybody in your company. It's because somebody came to you and put some pressure, full court press on you about, hey, you know what? I'm doing a lot of deals here. I'm going to leave if you don't give me. Okay, well, I'll give you this deal. And then they make another deal over here and another deal over there. Next thing you know, you've got this entire company of like, I don't even know how we keep it together. If this one finds out that this one's getting this and this one finds out that one's getting that, I'm gonna lose them all, right?
Yeah,
so like,
I can't look at somebody and lie to them and say, yeah, everybody's on the same split and yours is really here's your check on the table. I can't.
Right. No, it's not a good model, right? It's not a good model for you as a broker. It's not a good model for you as the agent. So obviously the fairness of it being the same for everybody. And it's funny, a lot of people look at the split and they go, oh, that's an 80-20 split. I'm not doing 80-20. I'm not doing 80-20. I'm on a 100% split where I'm at. Well, it's not. It's 16,000, right? Like, we were doing the math yesterday with somebody who was like, well, what do you get? Well, we don't get anything. Like, they're on 100%. Like, there's no value add whatsoever. It's like, you don't get anything. That's it. It's $150 a month and nothing. You don't get no help for anything. So, okay, great. Well, how's that working for you? Well, I did 12 deals last year. So I said, okay, well, it's not working too good. So he's like, well, so how many deals do you want to do? He said, well, I'd like to do at least double that. I said, okay, well, do you have a plan? He said, well, no, I ain't got a plan. I said, okay, well, you sure you're getting 100%, but as you grow your business, 16,000, if your goal is to do more than that or do 24 deals or 32 deals or whatever, ultimately you can get the 16,000 back in stock. But don't think of it as an 80-20 split. You think of it as, it's 16,000 and that's it. Just the technology alone you'd have to go buy was going to be, close to 7,000-8,000, probably 10,000 if you had the Sky Slope and some of the other stuff. So like, we're not talking about a lot of money, and then to be able to plug into an environment where people can actually help you create a plan and actually incentivize to help you grow your business. It kind of becomes a no-brainer. But like for people that produce, I noticed that they look at it a lot different. They look at it as 60,000, not 80-20. For people that aren't quite producing, but they want to produce, they tend to look at it as an 80-20 split, which I just don't think that's, I think you got to look at the longer term, bigger picture. What am I trying to build here, for my career, as opposed to, like you said, treat it like a business.
I was paying over $30,000 a year for my CRM.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they provide you with a CRM. So that's $30,000 a year that does not leave my pocket anymore. And the CRM is probably better than what I was using.
Well, yeah, let me ask you this. How many different CRMs have you bought at the, to get to the one that you got now? Did you, because most people buy, you buy 2 or 3 or 4 different things before you find something that actually works or that you really like,
Yeah,
So
I'm the guy that buys every book, buys the $10,000 coaching programs, rips it all off, puts, changes it up, breaks it into note cards. I'm that guy.
Right.
In my office, there's stuff everywhere. I mean, it's neat, but there's stuff like taped to my door, sayings and things that triggers.
Right.
I'm that dork.
I love it.
And I want people to know that. But at the same time, you got to go to work. I couldn't tell you how many hundreds of thousands of dollars I've spent in education coaching and on CRMs just trying them out. Hey, free trial demo got me for another $20,000.
Right. Yep.
But not this time because I'm not paying.
Right.
I think it's a $50 a month tech fee or something, right?
Right.
Yeah, so I'm good with that as part of my $85 a month split. But I do want to go over on our call so that I understand better and have you explain it, being the master with it, the 5 ways that the shares and stock come back to you as an agent at eXp Realty, so that I don't mess that up for people. I want them to hear.
I think it's so I think it's actually you can debate whether there's 4 or 5 ways, but I think the first way that you can earn stock in the company is you close your first transaction every year on the anniversary. So you're going to get some shares of stock. You didn't do anything special. You just closed the deal. It's a gift. So that vests over 3 years. So another way you can earn some more shares of stock in the company is when you hit your cap. So if you're a capping agent, which just means you were selling more houses than the average bear, you're going to get some stock. And that those stock awards vest over 3 years. Again, you didn't do anything special. You just sold some houses. The third way is that you can bring a friend over to the company and that they close their first deal. of the year, and you get some stock for that. And so you didn't do anything special. You just told your friend about a company that you love and you're having a great experience with, and they came and joined and closed the deal. So you get some stock there. The fourth way to earn some stock would be to hit the icon status, which is the equivalent of hitting your cap, and then at $250 per transaction, you're 100% split at that point, but you pay $250 a transaction until you pay the company $5,000. And then you become icon and you get the $16,000 that you paid in and your cap back in stock and cash. The way that's awarded back to you is $12,000 is a stock award vests over 3 years. $2,000 of that you get for coming to the shareholders event, which is $2,000 in cash they give you for that, and then the other $2,000 they give you if you come to the EXPCon, the other event. So they're trying to encourage you to come to the events. They pay you $2,000 cash for each one of those to come to those two events for the year. So that's how you get the $16,000 back. So that's the fourth way, and the fifth way would be you can buy the stock, right? So anybody can buy the stock, but I think one of the cool things that they did, I think it's a huge deal because most real estate agents don't have a exit strategy, and they don't make really consistent investing decisions that are going to pay off in the long term. And you can take 5% of your commission on every transaction, and you can buy the stock at a 20% discount. Now that stock you're buying is awarded immediately. It's not a stock award you have to vest. You actually that stock gets issued to you when you buy it. So you can take that stock and you can sell it if you wanted to. And again, you think about, okay, well, that's not a lot, 5%, but what is that going to be? If you go back and you guys can all do this, but like when if you sold a bunch of real estate and over the last year or 2 years, like Al Stasic, who brought me on, and you go back and look at the average price he's buying stock at, over the last 2 years, it's a massive difference in terms of how much, if you're a producer, it becomes lucrative. Now you can go buy the stock, in the open market today, but you can't buy it at a 20% discount. So, sure, you can go buy the stock and stay where you're at if that's what you wanted to do. But I think being a part of this company, helping grow this company, being able to buy the stock at a discount, and the awards that they're giving you just for doing things you're normally doing. People like say, okay, well, this is like a network marketing scheme. Well, no, it's really not. You're basically
getting the government. Every network marketing scheme. So is every corporation.
Right.
So, but I tell you what's sad is at one point I was doing over 160 transactions year after year after year, and I didn't get any stock in any of that.
Right.
I don't care if it's a 1% discount. Right. Zero's still zero, and I don't have any of it. I mean, that was killing myself for those years.
Right. Me too, man. I got 20 years behind my belt. I would have loved to have seen this model 20 years ago and been smart enough to see it.
This is like almost, for those that understand it, it's almost like a little bit of a time machine. And I tell you, that was one of the things that took me a while to believe it, I guess, because I saw how the profit, payouts and how that worked with KW and being on the financial chair and all that. I saw how that worked where, you just go out and buy a copy or something and here goes the profit. You built an asset for an OP, but you didn't really build anything for you as a profit center. And right. That doesn't happen every month. I mean, but it does happen because you have to buy stuff like that. It becomes expenses. But I think it's that, and when I was first introduced to it, I don't know how many agents we have here in Georgia now, maybe 600, maybe more. But when I first looked at it, there might have been 250 or 300, and there were agents that didn't produce a lot in volume.
Right.
So I was kind of like, man, I don't want to be in that group of people talking about the time machine. But now it's agents like your friend Tracy, and
right.
I mean, these are people that are killing it. I mean,
right.
$50 million, $72 million in volume a year. They see it for a reason.
Right.
Right. Get into the revenue share part. Right. Of it. Revenue share, share. Those are like apples and oranges. Revenue,
right.
profit goes poof. Revenue,
right.
You get it right away, right? But when these people start seeing this and they're doing 25 million, 50 million, 72 million, I don't even know what she does. There's
159 million.
How much?
159 million last year.
Yeah. So there's something here. There's something
right.
here for somebody like that I don't, that says, hey, look, let's go.
Hey, there's something going on over here. Hey, it's making sense to smart people. Maybe I'm missing something, right?
Right. I don't need to recreate the wheel. I don't need to pay millions of dollars to come out with Enterprise, EXP
right.
Enterprise, to be able to get my systems quickly. It's pretty smart. And then when you guys called and got involved with it, and I knew I needed to make a move pretty quick. So that's what we did. And now look, I'm on the phone with you.
Yeah. And, right. Like that's some big prize. Well, I mean, I've loved this conversation, and I think, what would you sum it up to? Because here's what I hope that people are getting, right? Like at the end of the day, I guarantee you this: Daniel's a smart guy. He can help you. He can help you grow your business. He can help you build wealth. He can help you invest. He can help you with develop. He can help you with a lot of different things he's got experience in. And what would it be like if you could be aligned with Daniel and Dan Hillsman and myself, and we all have a vested interest in your success? that's really what we're talking about here. Whatever it is that your goals are, show me your 5 closest friends. I'll tell you your future. This is an opportunity to you can't really hire, Daniel. I'm pretty sure you're not for hire. There's somebody who wanted to call and get you to mentor them for, all day, every day for, your rest of your career or whatever. I'm not sure what that would cost, but I'm pretty sure it would just be something that you wouldn't have the time to do. But because of this alignment here, we have alignment and a reason to make sure that we help everyone succeed that joins us here at EXP. So what I would suggest, if you've been watching this long, you should reach out to Daniel or Dan Hillsman as well, or myself. I'm happy to help you as well. But ask them some questions and see what you can do to become more aligned with us at EXP and join in on all the fun, right?
Right. And one word, if I was going to just simmer it all down to one word, opportunity. There's an opportunity for every level of agent here, which doesn't always exist at every other brokerage, right? I mean, you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Sometimes one is better for another, and one for agent as they grow in their career. There is an opportunity for everybody here.
Right. No doubt about that. No doubt about that.
All right.
So cool. Dan Hillsman, anything you want to add? You've been awful quiet. We talk a lot.
Yeah, I'm just listening now. I'm glad to be here. Appreciate the opportunity to be on with you and Daniel, Jay, and look forward to having a few more of these in the near future.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to finish with, Daniel?
Call us. The people you align with matter. The line that helps you to get answers. It has not been the easiest to get the answers, and I'll be the first to admit it. But once I got aligned with this group, it was like that. It came, all the answers, especially if you're talking about team building.
Right.
There's like some secrets out there on team building, and we hold them.
You got it. We can help you. All right, so that's it, guys. I appreciate it. We'll end that here, and it's been real and it's been fun. Love you guys, man. I'm looking forward to Atlanta in the next month, so I'll see you guys soon.
All right, man. Take care.